Hey everyone, it is Hunter Fireflower, and in today's video, I will be giving you a summary of Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi Force War issue number 3. So in the previous comic, we saw that Trill has betrayed Xesh, and Trill was able to subdue Xesh. So we are going to find out what is going to happen to Xesh, and how are the Jedi going to take care of the Rakata. The Rakata are winning now. They set this trap for the Jedi, and they fell right into it. So I'm guessing the Jedi are probably going to be losing now, and we're going to find out exactly what is going to happen. We start this comic immediately after the previous comic, and we see this battle of the Jedi, the Rakata, and the Flesh Raiders. And in particular, we see Shay on Butch over here fighting. She's super angry, and she talks to her previous master, Master Quan Jang. And Quan Jang is like, where's Xesh? We don't know where he is, and sek'nos is missing. We have to fight on so we can actually find where they are and bring them back because we're going to have to retreat. And Shay just responds to her previous master saying, I'm going to survive this. I'm going to find Xesh, and we're going to get out of this alive. It just kind of shows us that Shay actually does have romantic interest in Xesh and how she's willing to do anything to save him. The comic then cuts over to Xesh, and we get a flashback of exactly how he knew where Typhan was. We see him in this chair channeling his anger of tons of lightning coming out of him, and we see him just being questioned by the Rakata about Typhan and where it's located, and he just goes on and tells us, oh, the Jedi are here, they have these rangers. So Xesh knew exactly who was on Typhan before they actually invaded and before the whole ship crash thing when he first landed there to begin with. We then find out what actually happened to the ship that Xesh was on when they were first trying to scout out Typhan, and apparently Skal'nas was using this mind control trick on Xesh to force him to destroy the ship and then to kill the other Predor, Tulkar, who was kind of Skal'nas's enemy. They were always fighting each other to get more power in the Infinite Empire. Then Xesh was planted in the Jedi to gather information about the Jedi, so when the Infinite Empire did invade, they would have all the information and tools they needed to defeat them. We then cut to the present, and we have Skal'nas talking to Xesh, basically telling him, his entire plan of how he planted him in the Jedi to collect information to bring it back to him, and he kind of taunts him saying, you thought you were going to be friends of these people, you thought they actually liked you, but they didn't, and you're actually working with me. Then Xesh retorts with, they actually treated me like I was a friend of theirs, there's more to the Force than just the darkness, there's light and balance. Skal'nas then asks Xesh, would the Jedi still allow you to be in their order if they knew what you did in the past? And he goes on, and we see all of these planets that he has destroyed, all the people he has enslaved and killed, and Xesh just says no, they wouldn't accept him. And I think maybe this is a turning point where he's like, wait a second, if they were my friend, they would accept me no matter what. But since, all of these things I've done in the past and they wouldn't accept me, maybe they weren't my friends. Or maybe he's trying to just put on this persona to get on Skal'nas' favor, and then in the end, maybe he's going to betray him. That's what I'm guessing is going to happen. And then Xesh asks Skal'nas, what do you want me to do? And Skal'nas is just you're going to tell me everything about the Jedi, and we are going to enslave them, or they're going to join the Infinite Empire and serve us. We then cut over to Dagan Locke and Trill. Dagan Locke is up in these chains, and Trill has this lightning thingy. I'm assuming that she is torturing him so that he will reveal to them all the information about how he saw this vision of the Infinite Empire and what he actually saw in the chasm. Dagan is I'm not telling you anything of what I saw in the chasm, you guys are going to lose, the Jedi are going to win in the end. And Xesh actually uses Dagan Locke's own mind trick against him, and Dagan Locke goes crazy and just reveals everything that he saw in his vision. So in Dagan Locke's vision, he saw that he was going to rule the Jedi against the Infinite Empire and how there was going to be this whole Jedi reform, but he also saw an infinity gate that the Qua people made that was located at the bottom of the chasm, and that is why the chasm has this huge force energy thing to begin with. When you go down the chasm, force sensitives go crazy, and non-force sensitives just die or they end up in a coma. This is exactly what Skal'nas wanted. He wants the infinity gate to teleport through the worlds, and apparently this is considered kind of the mother of all the infinity gates. If you control this infinity gate, you don't actually have to go to another infinity gate. So apparently if you want to teleport through worlds, there has to be an infinity gate on that world, but for this one, there doesn't have to be. So you could literally teleport to any planet, even if it doesn't have an infinity gate, and you can just show up there. So that was kind of interesting. So Skal'nas is going to have this whole plan of taking the chasm, and Xesh warns him, he's like, if you try to take this chasm, the Jedi seers are going to see you, and they're going to predict our attacks. We have to do something about that. So in response to that, Skal'nas uses the power of Trill and Xesh, and he just kind of like takes their memories and everything that they have seen, he kind of like fuses it into his own mind, and he sends out this force projection to all of the Force seers, and all of them go blind and they lose their connection to the Force. One of those Force seers we know is Tasha, the Twi'lek, and she literally is blind, she can't see anything, but she knows that Xesh is the one behind this whole plot, and she gets one last vision that the Rakata are going to attack Anil Kesh, which is where the chasm and the Infinity Gate is located. So the Jedi are all going to go back to the chasm and retreat, and they're going to try to defend it from the Rakatan. The knowledge of Xesh's betrayal trickles throughout the Jedi. They all talk about, like, oh, Xesh betrayed us, we have to retreat and go back to Typhan and defend the Infinity Gate. And when Shay hears that Xesh betrayed the Jedi, she has this sense of doubt. She's like, what? We were kind of in love, like, why would he do this to me? We had a connection. And I'm feeling that she knows that the Rakata are doing some mind trick, and so she is going to try and bring Xesh back to her. The last page then cuts over to sek'nos, and we see him in this matrix tube thingy, and he saw the vision of Xesh, and he's like, if I get out of here, Xesh, you're going to die. And Dagan'lok is literally saying the same thing. Dagan'lok actually kind of looks like he has rabies. Like, a lot of the time, like, you see him foaming at the mouth, and he's going crazy. And Dagan'lok's just like, if I ever see you again, Xesh, I am going to kill you. But anyways, that is it for this comic. So I'm guessing in the next one we are going to see the attack on the chasm and who is actually going to win. Are the Rakata going to get the Infinity Gate? I'm doubting it, because the Jedi usually always win in the end. But it will be interesting to see if Xesh turns back to the Jedi, or is he going to die? Is he going to just join the Rakata? I have a feeling there's going to be some type of redemption with Xesh. I feel like he's going to come back. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment of what you would like to see next. There's 2 more comics for this series, so I'm going to finish those up, and then I'll probably maybe move on to another comic series. So if you want to see something else, please let me know, and I'll do a whole summary review of that entire series. If you liked the video, please share it to your friends. It helps me out a lot, and it helps my channel grow a little bit more. I really appreciate it. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next one. Stay frosty.